It's a make or miss league.
It's a make or miss.
It's a make or
It's a make or miss league.
Thank you, CJ. Make cement. All right, so Book has Michael Kidd-Gilchrist on the lower block. He jab steps, then blows past him for the slam.
Ooh.
Perk, is Booker more of a problem or more of a bucket? Which way are we going on him?
He is, Rachel, he's a bucket. He reminds me a lot of myself in high school. I could just get a bucket anywhere on the court. Devin Booker came out of his mother's womb getting buckets. And you know the thing that impressed me throughout this bubble watching him? He gets it in any way, mid-range, going to the rim, snatching the screws out. This guy is a bucket, a walking bucket.
It's going to carry over. That confidence is going to take him to next season. All right, miss, intense, same game. Luka with the rock, throws it ahead, and it bounces off a Suns defender, then off glass, and right to Boban, who lays it in. Richard, is this intentional when this stuff happens?
Oh, 100% it's intentional, man. You got to give it intentional. Jason Kidd used to get assists like this, right? He would bounce the ball or do something crazy. The ball would bounce off, and all of a sudden you would hear, assist, Jason Kidd, and all of us would look over. It's like, hey, that's how John Stockton ended up with 15,000 assists.
When you're that good, the ball just goes in. What can I tell you? Make transition. This is from Bucks Grizz, first quarter. Kyle Anderson, also known, of course, as Slomo, leaves a nice dime for Jonas Valanciunas. Perk, how much do you like that Slomo nickname? We good with it?
I love it. It matches him. And guess what? You're not going to speed him up. He embraces it. He plays at his own pace. You still can't stop him. By the way, Rachel, what's going on in the bubble? We've been seeing nothing but dimes between the legs, the behind the back that Kyle just threw. I'm loving everything about this bubble right now. I'm telling you, the energy is great. Talking about dropping dimes. Richard don't know nothing about this.
Less defense.
That's not
Look
what
at
I
that.
do.
Just a little drive-by there. Boom. Less defense, means better offense, Perk. All right, miss selfishness. Couple of meaningless games. But hey, to Perk's point, some nice dimes here in the bubble. First the Kings, then the Jazz. So, Richard, which one of these is better?
Ooh, I'm going to say the Jazz one. I'm going to say the Jazz one is better. That's the one I think is better.
I mean, look,
Is that the Harlem Globetrotters?
do
we hear the Harlem Globetrotters theme music?
It's almost the Harlem Globetrotters theme music, but we can't afford the Harlem Globetrotters music, so it's like it. You know those perfumes, those discount perfumes you used to get at the mall that were like, smells like such and such? That's our music budget on the jump. So we're working through. It's all good.
That's
all right,
fair.
I want to quickly move on to some big news out of Chicago. The Bulls announced that they have indeed fired coach Jim Boylen, citing the need for a fresh approach. Boylen was first an associate head coach during the 2015-16 season for the Bulls. Then he was named head coach in 2018. Bulls Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations, Arturas Karnisovas, he issued a statement that reads in part, quote, I ultimately decided that a fresh approach and evolution in leadership was necessary. This was a very difficult decision, but it's time for our franchise to take that next step as we move in a new direction and an era of Chicago Bulls basketball. Richard, do you think this was the right time to make this move?
Oh, 100%. This is the right time because obviously there is no second bubble. So now you actually have a little bit of time to bring in another coach, do the coaching search, and then you have the ability to have this coach work with the players before the start of the next season and this entire offseason. So if you get a new coach now, you have time for the coaching search and you have time for the coaches to build a relationship with the players before the start of the following season. This is actually the perfect time, and it's before the draft. So now they can bring in a coach, they can draft a player that they want. So this is literally the most perfect time.
Well, Rich, I never thought I would agree with you so much today, but you're absolutely right. This is the perfect time. And by the way, Rachel, I got a list of candidates that's on my list. I think it's time for us, for the Bulls to stop rotating suits. And we got to get some young blood, some new energy in there. Guys like Damon Stoudemire, guys like Sam Cassell, guys like Phil Handy. guys to that nature who has been longtime assistants and is well deserving of an opportunity like this. You have a young Bulls roster. I think you have a young stud in Kobe White that was held back last year that could be, a franchise player in my eyes because he could flat out average 25 in today's game. And I think you need to go with someone young and help build with that team. So, I'm looking at the Bulls' decision with firing Jim Boylen. I think it was the right decision at the right time. And I just can't believe that I'm actually agreeing with Richard to start the show so much.
Well, first of all, Perk, Phil Handy is going to be thrilled that you called him young. That's going to be very exciting. And I also wish you luck prying him away from LeBron James or Danny Green, because they depend on him every day. I do love the Damon Stoudemire suggestion and the idea in general. I think that it would be great for the Bulls to go in that direction. And I also hope that the Jim Boylen experience with the Bulls is a lesson to not only Boylen, but some of the other ascending coaches around the league. I know that he was put in there to try to make the Bulls more disciplined on the floor and as a franchise, and I understand why, certainly watching the way they played before him. But having a disciplined team does not mean treating the players on that team like children, like college students. You look at your old team, Kendrick, the Celtics. Brad Stevens has an incredibly disciplined team, but it's based on a bedrock of respect for the players and knowing that he didn't play the game at the level that they did, and he takes their cues from him, even though there's definitely a messaging throughout the franchise that they're all responsible, not just to him, but to each other. And I would love to see that for the Bulls as well. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.